For over a year, I've had this date circled on my calendar to come back to for one thing. And it's this gorgeous, gorgeous lupine. And these little birds everywhere out here that will land on top of this lupine. Just makes for a fantastic time and some of the most amazing photography. So let's talk about it. Along over more than half the spit this time of year, at the end of June, the very first July, is this lupine. It flanks both sides of this road going down the Homer Spit. And it makes for the most gorgeous, gorgeous images and pictures. And also you'll hear a lot of noise because the Homer Spit has a road running right down the middle of it. And this stuff is amazing. This stuff is huge. Some of the tallest lupine around here. Some of this stuff is 4 feet, 5 feet tall. A lot of places you see it, it's only a couple feet tall. And that's what makes this lupine incredible for wildlife photography and landscape photography. That direction, which is not the sun to light me, I can't really show it to you, I'll show it to you in a minute, is beautiful. Lupine, mountains, just great landscape opportunity. But this way is where the light is, and this is where I'm gonna find my little birds. Juncos, warblers, sparrows, finches. There's all kinds of birds out here feeding on little bugs that are on the underside of these flowers in here. And there's one right there. And they come in here, hop on them, and they pull those little bugs and those worms off of there to take back their nest or to eat for themselves. Just beautiful. But capturing these guys on top of this stuff is a bit hard sometimes. They like to be in the bushes and the trees behind lupine, and every once in a while they'll flitter out here, and they're only on them for a few seconds. So capturing one on top of it, doing its thing, hanging out is just incredible, and I love it. And like I said, I had this on my radar since last year. I knew there was a little bit of lupine out here on this spit, but I didn't realize the extent that it was. When I come to Homer this time of year, it's usually later July or earlier in like March and April. And I came here last year to spend some time with Heidi and her husband and some other people out here just running around looking for the super low tides to get starfish and stuff. And we happened to walk out here and steal the lupine. And that just changed our whole week. We were going from hitting shore stuff with starfish and crabs and stuff to changing to lupine and small birds. And that's what I came back here this year. And one of the biggest hurdles of photographing this stuff is the light. So most days I've been out here until today has been rainy, overcast, cloudy, which makes it real easy to shoot birds on this lupine. It doesn't matter if I'm with the light like I am right now or shooting into the light. It wouldn't matter because there was no shadows because the light was diffused from the clouds. But today I've got full sun. And even at 6 o'clock in the morning, it's almost too late. And it's about 8 o'clock now and the sun's sitting up here about 40 degrees above my head. I still got a long shadow, and it is longer than I am, so according to that, it's supposed to be shootable. But already you're getting highlight blowouts and shadows on the bird, so it makes it really hard. So you've got to get the right angle. You've literally got to be shooting down towards your shadow to get hopefully not a lot of shadows on the bird. And anything else, you're going to get shadows across the face, under the wings across the face, or just blown out highlights where the sun's hitting it. And it's pretty hard. You have to really, really underexpose and stuff. But the good thing is, I can shoot a very, very high shutter speed, have low ISO. I hope these cars going by are not ruining my audio. But getting them land on this stuff is very, very tough. But once you do, it's worth every bit of it. And then to catch a few like I have, eating bugs off of these flowers, just even more incredible. This is just a treat for me out here today. But I'm gonna go back trying to get these birds. They are everywhere. Today, I'm not seeing as many warblers and juncos like I was seeing the last several days. I'm seeing a lot more savannas and redpolls today. I don't know where my other birds have gone, but they're here somewhere, so hopefully we'll catch them. I like the warblers the best. Savannah, sorry, bird flew by me. I like the warblers the best because they're yellow, and their contrast on these purple flowers is really beautiful. It makes beautiful shots. The redpolls are nice too because they got red on them too. They're a little messy. They get all puffed up and stuff. They're kind of a scruffy looking little bird. And the savannas are everywhere. They're not as interesting colors, but they're more interesting in their behavior. They will actually follow you around on top of these leaves. I've got a couple of them wherever I go near these trees, they fly from that one to the one next to me and watch me and kind of chip at me and stuff. It's very, very interesting. But it is a gorgeous day here in Homer. Amazing day in Homer. I've been here for 4 days now, and it has been incredible. You'll also see me in different clothes because I've been here for 4 days. So the footage may be out of order. You may see me in a sweatshirt, maybe see in a t-shirt, maybe see in this shirt. Not so much you're going to see me wearing when I'm walking. But it's an incredible time. If you could ever get down here from middle of June to the 1st of July, this is what you're going to see. This amazing, gorgeous lupine. It is very busy. A lot of people here in Homer at this time of year. But it's incredible. If you're a birder, you like to shoot small birds, things like that, this is the spot for you. This is incredible. So I'm going to walk around some more, find some more stuff to shoot. This will probably be more of a montage video instead of a how-to video. We may talk a little bit about exposure and shutter speed and stuff like that. But for the most part, you guys just enjoy what you see, and I will talk to you here very soon. And I want to give a big thanks out to DxO for sponsoring this video. They make a lot of software for us photographers, but the one I use is DxO Pure Raw 5. This piece of software is the cornerstone and the key to my editing process. Without it, it makes my work a lot harder. The problem I had was with Lightroom from the camera profiles were not correct. They look flat and also noisy and not as sharp as they should be when I use the native software for Canon DP4 or Nikon's NIX software to get that. The way they looked in there, it looked right, and Lightroom looked bad. DxO Pure Raw takes and gets the camera profiles for all your lenses and your bodies and puts them in there. And it gets it like the manufacturer has what they want you to see. And it also denoises and sharpens, and you control that amount of denoise and sharpen. But that piece of software, like I said, is cornerstone and key to my imaging process. When you got a before image that's flat, noisy, dull, and then you bring it through DxO Pure Raw, and it becomes vibrant, less noisy, and a little bit sharper. Just awesome. Can't say much about that program. Without it, makes my life a pain in the butt. So back to the video. Okay, we'll talk a little bit about shutter speed and exposure, things like that. So, two schools of thought on not working. Hang on. Two schools of thought on exposure with these guys. If I'm shooting bird on a stick where I'm not worried about the flight shots and them taking off the limb, I'm going to be shooting about 1,000 in the shutter speed, 1/1000 second. And from there, I'm going to be shooting f4 to f2.8, probably wide open. Every once in a while, I may go f8, but what I want these flowers, so I'm going to get like on the second flower with the birds here. I'd like that one out of focus and this one out of focus. Just the one that's on, the one in the same plane, in focus on the flowers. If I want to get more flowers, I'm going to shoot f8 to f11 on these guys. And then I definitely have to be shooting this lower shutter speed to keep ISO down. If I'm worried about wing motion, I want to get the takeoff and call out. This guy's just calling right below me like crazy. I can see him, he's in the bush, not on top. So if I'm going to try to capture the flight shots where the wings in motion, when they're taking off and off these branches, I'm going to be shooting this at least, I'm going to shoot it as 1/2500th of a second. But I'm probably going to shoot that 3,500 to 5,000 a second on that shutter speed, because these guys, even at 3,500 sometimes, I'll still get wing motion blur on these guys because they just take off so fast. They hop from branch to branch. It's really tricky to get that too. You have to really be working that shutter and timing it just right. It's pretty tough to get. Again, for aperture on that, I'm going to be shooting wide open that because I'm shooting such a fast shutter speed to keep my ISO down. I got to open that wide open. So I'm shooting f2.8, 400, or 560 at f4, but it's still great. Today it's not a problem because it is bright. The last few days when it's darker towards dusk and stuff, I was having to really push that ISO and the shutter speed. But what's really nice is these guys can come in really close. So I've shot a lot of shots at 400 millimeters out here, a lot of them, and got the bird full in the frame. 560 sometimes is almost too much here with these birds. That's what I'm doing as far as exposure. Don't overcomplicate what you're shooting and how you're shooting it. Stick to something that works for you. Know your shutter speeds on the type of bird you're going for, what type of shots. Keep it simple. Keep things compartmentalized. You know, shoot things on a stick. Keep your settings for that. Shoot and flight, keep it for that. Just keep those separated and you shouldn't have a problem. Keep your photography simple. You'll get better shots, better results out of it if you just kind of focus on one thing at a time and keep it that way. At least that's what works for me. I don't mix my flight with my on a stick settings, and that way I get better results. you've been enjoying this video so far, or like the videos you've seen in the past for mine, or you just like stuff about Alaska, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It costs you nothing. It means the world to me and helps us just reach more people to show them about wildlife photography and Alaska. If you really want to support the channel, look down and hit that join button below. It costs as little as $1 a month for you to become a member on the channel, read the perks and stuff. And that just helps us out to get out and do things like this, because this stuff is not cheap in Alaska to travel around and do all this stuff. But I enjoy doing it. I like bringing you guys. So thank you very much for watching, and I enjoy all you guys and members and subscribers. Thank you very, very much for supporting the channel. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's film. I've had a blast out here chasing these birds on Lupine. And as always, until next time, guys, get outside and go run that shutter.